oli ku BOCAT TV. Leero enkya ne luli BOCAT TV.
Ampuliriza naawe watulaba oli ku BOCAT TV. Olunaku olwaleero ng'ennaku z'omwezi 19 omwezi ogw'omunaana, Omusango Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi muyite Bobi Wine Gweyawawabira mpozi abamu ku bantu abamulemesa okwogera ku radio Embale Gutandise Okuwulirwa, era nga bw'owulira wano mu kkooti. Tuli mu kkooti essaawa eno yennyini nga mpozi mu musango guno mukulu Kyagulanyi ng'ayita mu balooya be okubadde Medad Sseggona n'abalala, yawawaabira Anthony General, n'awaabira Martin Okoth Ochola, n'awaabira RDC ko n'abamu ku bapoliisi abaddukanya police station y'Embale oba gite CPS ey'Embale olw'okumulemesa okwogera ku radio mu kirabo ekintu ekyali kirinyirira eddembe lye. Mu bawaabira abalala mulimu Haji Baraza Sulaiman, Lieutenant George Monda okugatta ne Kato Alpha. Katweyongereyo ne kooti.
I don't know which ones, but Mr. Peter Masaba, Miss Senyonjo Madina. I want to assume that they represent all the respondents. And Madina Senyonjo appear for the respondents.
Do you have the applicant in court?
So the applicant is in court. The respondents are all defiantly absent. This matter was, Worship, fixed. The matter was fixed for now, for hearing. An affidavit of service sworn by Mr. Njoroge Githinji Martin was filed in this court on 18th August indicating service onto the respondents together. Actually, there are two affidavits. Filed in this court on 18th August.
Answer, I see one. I see the one of one Ruth Joffrey.
No, another one, the worship, filed on court record. In the event that it cannot be traced, I would gratefully submit this one after my submission, and it attaches the notes of motion received by the respective respondents on 13th August. Service was effected, and 14th August, service was effected on to all respondents who have not filed their respective replies if they intend to oppose the application.
I see affidavits in reply.
I am not privileged to access any.
If they were filed less than an hour ago.
In the event.
Counsel for the respondents, you have not served your colleagues?
Your Worship, we haven't served the counsel for the applicant simply because this matter was brought on short notice. And some of the respondents are not resident in Bali. given the rules of pleading, we have 15 days to respond to the particular pleading which has not lapsed. So we're still within time to file replies to this application and serve the applicant.
I see affidavits in reply for the respondent, says for the second respondent. If you have them, can you now serve the council now that you know them and they are here? So, Mansawa, you have the affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor. We do have the affidavit.
So this is the applicant's counsel, please serve with the affidavit in reply. Done so?
Yes, Your Honor, they have to acknowledge service, secret service.
We are confirming whether we have all that. We have all, told, apart from the second respondent, Martin Kototola, and we do not know whether he intends to file or not. And I do not even know whether he has instructed counsel, and therefore whether they speak for him. And if not, we would apply to proceed ex parte as against him. Maybe we would have that clarified.
Yes, counsel, you may. Do you have instructions to represent the second respondent?
Your Honor, we have full instructions to represent all the respondents. And I would request counsel for the applicant to serve us with that affidavit of service as proof of service so that we can tell whether all the respondents were served. Because to the best of our knowledge, none of them were served. So we humbly pray for an affidavit of service.
Well, Your Worship, whereas I do not have problems giving him a copy of the affidavit of service, I don't know for how long my brother has practiced law. But I know for a fact that by the time somebody gives you instruction to appear, he has been served.
Indeed, to mean so, Counsel Masaba?
Pardon?
If you have been instructed by the second respondent, doesn't it mean that he's aware of this case?
Being aware and being served are two different things. When we're talking about service,
You are saying he has not
this
been
has got
served.
nothing to do with my years of practice. It is prudent that he serves us with an affidavit of service, unless he doesn't have one. But if he has one, it is prudent that he gives us that affidavit, because after affidavits in reply dispute service on some of the respondents.
Well, to avoid wasting more time, since there is proof of service, unfortunately, I'm now being asked to submit my copy to court. My brother may access the same from court record. Now, dispute on service can only be again by affidavit, not evidence from the bar. I submit very strongly that instructions.
Just a minute, counsel. Was the second respondent served?
Yes. Your Worship, paragraph 4
Yes.
of the affidavit of service states that on 14th August 2020, I proceeded with the same to the second respondent's offices. Inspector General of Police offices located at the police headquarters in Naguru, Kampala, where I met the OR to whom I introduced myself and purpose of my visit, handed over copies of the same, and he acknowledged receipt, endorsed the copy as hereto attached. So there was service on the gentleman. That is how he instructed, I believe, able counsel, Mr. Basaba, to represent him. It pays to be honest to courts where you are practicing as an officer. If my brother has any reason for not having filed a reply, I think the best practice is to indicate his intention to file one. But since he has not indicated his intention to file one, we may take it and submit that the Inspector General of Police is not interested in defending this matter. And subject to your resolution of that particular issue, we shall make our submission. Otherwise, we pray that you order the proceedings ex parte against Mr. Martin Okoth Ochola, IG.
Your Worship, in brief response to the Council's prayer, I humbly submit that evidence by way of notes of motion is by way of an affidavit, and the wealth of precedents have laid out that with or without an affidavit, it does not deny the party audience in court. The second respondent does not have an affidavit on record, he still has audience by way of points of law in this
Do you
application.
intend to file one or not?
We don't intend to file an affidavit in reply for law, because none of the paragraphs in the application have implicated IGP as a person. For him, we shall submit on points of law regarding matters pertaining the second respondent. And so I humbly pray that the prayer by my land friend is misplaced. We shall limit ourselves on matters of law as it pertains matters with IGP, unless any other evidence is adduced in support of. If it is the evidence on this application, which is an affidavit of Honorable Chaplain, we shall submit on points of law. As regards the second applicant responding, we so humbly pray.
So according to you, this application does not affect the second respondent?
I've not come across any evidence by any paragraph in it that implicates the IGP as a person in this application. And we shall submit on points of law regarding the second respondent.
Did it have been agreed that you raised the same in the affidavit in reply?
Your Worship, Section 101 and 102 of the Evidence Act provides that who alleges must prove. So if they fail to prove in the affidavit, you can submit it as a point of law as regards the second respondent. That's what we intend to do.
In light of that, I am okay with him proceeding that way without his client's evidence. And now, having been served in court with the 6 affidavits, pray for time to make rejoinders there too. We are also praying for leave in accordance with Order 1903 of the Civil Procedure Rules to have 1 Tobacco Juliet, Topacho Juliet, to be cross-examined on some matters which we feel need
Examination of who?
of the following: Topacho Juliet, Weziringanizi, Barasa Ogajo.
That's the third.
Yes, the third.
The fourth. Respondent.
Yes. Kato Arafat, 7. And George Mwonda Mutumba. We have some serious questions which we need them to clarify, and therefore pray for the earliest date possible, preferably with your permission, worship next week, considering the nature of the case. We feel we need them, and with your permission, we would have filed our rejoinders by Monday next week, which would be 24th. We pray therefore that you find pleasure in giving us a day next week. We so pray.
Your Honor, I have no objection to the prayer for counsel for the applicant. In the same vein, we move under the same rule, Order 19 Rule 3, and we pray that the deponent of the affidavit in support should appear for cross-examination on that date. As regards matters pertaining to the affidavits, it's so. Secondly, Your Worship, we also have points of law raised as regards as pertains this application, and shall we please raise them on that day that shall avail us. So humbly pray.
Worship on cross-examination. For the applicant, we have no objection. On the points of law, we equally would have no objection, except the rules of pleading require that you indicate. So on that date, that you indicate your objection in issue, and we shall respond anyway.
Leadership will also pray that if you consider that you will consider morning because you might have a long day, given the need to cross-examine the departments.
Yes, it is. If you please, the worship would consider 26.
Also for the respondents,
Worship will be pleased to take 26. We will be pleased to take 26.
given that both counsel obliged to cross-examine several deponents, this court hereby orders that the applicant, as well as compulsory jury, the third respondent, fourth respondent, sixth respondent, and seventh respondent,
okuwulira omusango omulundi ogusooka bwe kutyo bwe kugenze era omusango omulamuzi n'abeera mpozi ng'ate agwongeddeyo. Temuva ku BOCAT TV, nze SULA SSENYONGA.
Oli ku BOCAT TV leero enkya na luli. BOCAT TV